Hi guys, here we are in order to start with the walk-around session about RAYWIN engines. We will talk about the engines dedicated to the power generation application. And we will start with two engines, aspirated engines and turbo engines. About natural aspirated engine, the power is around 20-25 kilowatt per, and talking about turbo engine, the power is 30-40 kilowatt per. So starting from the intake air system, here we have the air filter box. Here we have the air cleaner indicator. Then we have the pipe, the compressor, and then the connection with compressor to the intake manifold. Here in this position we have the connection related to the pipe of the blue buy. About air intake system for the aspirated engine, the system is very simple as usual. We have the air filter box here, the cleaner indicator here, the pipe of the connection between air filter to the intake manifold here. And on the top of the engine we have the blue by separator and the connection related to the vapor of the oil, the blue by system, the connection between the separator of the blue by to the intake manifold system. Talking about the exhaust gas system, here we have the exhaust manifold, then with cover in order to protect our hands from the hot surface. Then we have a turbine, and then we have the exit of the gas. Here we have the inlet pipe related to the lubrication oil for the turbine. And then here we have the return inside to the basement. About cooling system, here we have the radiator. Then we have the thermostat housing, water temperature sensor, and the water pump here behind. About the water cooling system, in front of the engine we have a radiator, and very important, in the lower part of the radiator, here indicated in this moment, we have a tap in order to discharge the water inside to the radiator. About the lubrication system, yeah, for sure we have oil filter here, and the oil filter is connected to the oil filter support through the cooler. The cooler is called Modin. This is a cooler, engine water, engine oil. In add here we have oil pressure sensor. Related to the refilling oil, engine oil, here on the top of the engine we have a cap in orange color, and the distilled oil for the check is positioned here in the lower part of the basement. In terms of lubrication, in terms of the blue bye system, here on the top of the engine we have the blue bye separator, and then we have the pipe, the connection from the blue bye separator here to the intake manifold before to the compressor. Related to the sensor, oil pressure sensor and water temperature sensor are in the meantime switch for alarm and sensor in order to reading the value. On the top of the radiator, in this position here indicated, we have the location for the optional related to the low level of water inside to the radiator, the water low level sensor. Talking about the fuel system, what we have here on the RAYWIN engine. We have the pre-filter installed here in this position. This is the entry point of the fuel. Then we have a mechanical pump, primary pump installed on the engine, but instead of the mechanical pump we have a electrical pump here in this position. Then from the electrical pump we have the connection to the filter, and then from the filter to the high pressure pump here. The pressure pump is a Stanadyne DB4 pump, very famous pump in the world. And then from the pump we have the connection to the 4 injectors installed on the cylinder head. The pre-filter of fuel is also dedicated to be a separator in order to drain the water inside to the pre-filter if necessary and when necessary. On the cylinder head we have already prepared the position in order to install the glow plug heater system. That is mandatory starting from minus 15 degrees Celsius, and this system is able to ensure the crank, the start of the engine up to minus 30 degrees Celsius. Talking to the electrical components, here we have the alternator, is a RAYWIN alternator, 14 volts, 40 ampere. And for the start of engine, here we have a starter motor that is already RAYWIN starter motor, and is 12 volt 2.3 kilowatts. About flywheel, we have two different sides, different from turbo and natural aspirated engine. For turbo we have SIE free 11.5 inch, and for aspirated engine we have SIE 4 7.5 inch. About engine information, we have installed, fixed on the intake manifold, we have a place, a metallic place, where all information are included. The model of the engine, the family of the engine, the category and power in kilowatt and RPM value, the serial number of the engine, and the code of approval. I want to remember again that we talk about an engine related to stage 3A legislation emission. That is for sure is important in order to understand also the quality and effort that was dedicated in order to develop this engine. In terms of delivery, together with the engine, for each engine, we will send to the customer some documents, certificates of quality, certificate of origin, and declaration of incorporation of partly complete machinery. Well, this walk-around session related to the PG RAYWIN engine is finished. Let me just repeat some highlights. We're talking about of two different kind of engines, turbo and natural aspirated engine. About turbo we talk about power, range of power between 30 and 40 kilowatt ampere, and about the engine aspirated we talk about in terms of power in a range related to 20 kilowatt ampere to 25 kilowatt ampere. Both engines are stage 3A emission legislation approval. So, for any kind of question, we are here in order to support you, and don't forget that will be available in our YouTube channel also some trainings dedicated to the technical features of this engine. We will start in order to dismount completely and remount completely an engine. For today, that's it. Thank you very much for your attention, and see you soon. Don't change the channel. Bye.